Hello everyone, this is Grandmaster Akobian with 1000 GM. Welcome to the round 4 coverage of the Bay Area GM and IM North tournaments. So we have two tournaments in progress. We have the GM tournament and an IM tournament. A total of 20 players participating here in San Jose, California. So let's jump in and look at some of the games here. So we had one quick result in a game between Vladimir Belarus against Tita Stramavicius in a GM section. That game ended in a quick draw. So we're going to move on to the board number 2, where we have Narayanan playing against Gedaljevic. So let's take a look. So Narayanan opened up with e4, and which was followed by the move e5. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. We have the Ruy Lopez, known as the Spanish game. a6, bishop a4, d6, trying to protect the position. Now we have castle, castling to get the safety of the king. Now he goes bishop d7, c3, playing c3 with the idea, with the hope to play the move d4 to try to fight for the center. Now g6 played, g4, bishop g7, defending. Rook e1, h6, h3. The point is to control the g4 square to prevent, him from playing the move bishop g4. Knight g2, bishop e3, developing the bishop. Castles. Knight a2. We have some development. Also, there is an option to take back with the pawn, which would be a possibility too. But he decided to take back with the knight. That's a tough one to see. This is definitely another option to take with this move. White is, I think, a little bit better thanks to the control of the center. So he goes here, knight e5, bishop c2, f5, knight 4 to f3, queen c7. Now it goes to c7. And now the question is what to do here after this. After queen c7. And here, I like this for white. I think white has a little bit of a better position here. Some pressure here as well on d6. a4 is one of the ideas that could be played, but I wouldn't be surprised if you play a move like this too. Knight takes e5, d takes c5. And let's say you play the move a4. Idea behind a4 is that you want to play to put the pawn on a5 and then try to stabilize the position by putting the knight on c4. Okay, you put the pawn on a5, fixing the b6 square, and then you put that knight on c4. You have very, very good control on b6. If he plays the move b6, then we switch and we put the bishop on b3. We're putting a really nice diagonal pressure on f7. Okay, this is a very, very nice position here. So yeah, I would really like this idea to try to do. Now bishop goes on c4, and now there's a pressure on a6. If he plays b5, can take, and now even maybe play the move c4 to try to fix this weakness. Bishop a4, trying to trade. If the trade occurs at some point, the knight b3 move could be played with a very nice pressure on c5. So I think that would be a good idea. Takes, and put the pressure on c5. All right. So, but this is where things stand right now, guys. And white is still thinking again. We have a 15-minute delay. So we will keep an eye on this game between Narayanan and Gedaljevic. Next, I'm going to move on to the game between Canuck playing with the white pieces against Emilio Cordova. Let's take a look here. Experienced Grandmaster Cordova. We had an interview with him yesterday after his win. So let's take a look. He goes for center counter. So Canuck is white, and Cordova is black here. Queen d5, knight c3, queen d6. Developing. Yeah, this is a kind of a line that, you know, black wants to get the pieces out and try to get some, you know, solid position. But white usually has a little bit of press here. So now bishop h5, bishop e3, e6. And this is where we are. Not so many moves played, actually. The game is going very, very slow. We're still on move number 8 here. And now e6 is played. And the question is how white is going to do here. So definitely the move g4 could be played. g4, queen e2, and long castle. Okay? So g4, bishop goes here, and then queen e2 comes in. And now with the idea to go long castle and try to activate the pieces. Okay? b5 comes in, we just simply go bishop b3. Yeah, at some point, you know, you have to be a little bit careful because the move d5 could be played to try to open up the position. Okay, so that definitely could be played. Let's move on to the next game. Our the next game is a game against Alex Katz, playing against Mark Heyman. So we saw this one. Yeah, Alex Katz against Mark Heyman here. Sicilian defense. Sharp Najdorf variation. Yeah, this is this h5 is played in order to prevent g4. c1. And now rook c1 is played. Wow, that's an interesting choice here. I would think you can play like c5 before here to try to put pressure, but instead he decides to play the move rook c1. Yeah, not the move that I would expect, but interesting choice here by Alex Katz here. He's trying to put some pressure here against his opponent. So Alex Katz against Mark Heyman. Yeah, so this is some nice pressure here. So we'll see how the game will continue. You know, it wants to play c4, b4, and get that expression. And the last game is the game between Josiah Stearman playing with the white pieces against Ostrovsky. This both players having a tough tournament. They're gonna need some rack up some wins here, but it'll be very hard. Josiah actually has to win all the remaining games to get to that 6.5 magical points, but it's gonna be hard to do it, guys. So let's see. Caro-Kann defense. And now, not playing the move bishop f5, Ostrovsky. He is trying to play the move c5 to attack the center. So now we go knight f3. Takes. Knight c6 now, putting pressure on the queen. And if the queen goes on f4, e6. Bishop d3, knight b4. Trying to snatch this light square bishop. Knight c3. Yeah, knight g6. Pushing this guy here. Bishop e7. Knight goes on e2. Castles. Knight goes on f4, perhaps trying to trade If you take, bishop takes, and these positions are hard because white can try to play some ideas like h4, h5 and try to put some pressure. So this is very, very possible here. So perhaps he will not take, he will play the move, let's say bishop d7. Takes. Takes. Now bishop b5, trying to get the bishop active. Rook e1, rook c8. Queen h3, putting pressure. Bishop d2. And I like this idea because now the rook is going to come in here. So yeah, we have very nice, solid position here for black. e6 is well guarded. Knight g5 is met by bishop g5. So now it's going to be a pressure. Bishop c3, g5. Rook c8. Rook f8, putting pressure here. Bishop takes f1. Yeah, now some pressure here, but I think still, yeah, it's comfortable. B5. H5. Rook a1, rook c2. Yeah, so that's the position. So it's about equal position here, I'd say. So yeah, we already have one draw here. So yeah, it's solid results here. We see, you know, a couple of the FM and IMs are doing really well. Like a Mark Hyman, he's got 2.5 points. So he's on course. He's on course actually to do well in this. You know, he can get a norm here if he does well in the remaining games. In this matchup here, we don't have too many moves here. Looks like we're getting moves are coming very slow here. So after Queen c7, still we have a think by Mark by Gedaljevic just played this move, and some rook is still thinking in the game. Yeah, Canuck after b5, bishop b3. Again, trying to play the move d5. The advantage for white, and the next we have, yeah, still no moves after rook c1, trying to play c4 and trying to get the expansion. And then we have the last one is Josiah's game against yeah, that we analyze. So looks very reasonable. Looks very reasonable position here. So we will see how the games will develop here. Still long think here. Long thing in this position we see, guys. To control the position. Again, we discussed the move a4. I think that's a very good possibility here. Let me check really quick if we're getting some moves on the lead chess, but no, not yet. All right, back to this. So yeah, yeah, a4 is very reasonable. And like, for example, even like the move b5 could be played here. Takes, pawn takes, and now you can try to attack this by playing the move knight b3, putting some pressure on c5 and trying to force Yeah, trying to force some weaknesses. And now if, let's say, the move c4 is played, then simply knight c5. Putting pressure on the bishop. Let's say rook fd8. Now we play the move b4. If there is a capture, simply we can capture back with the bishop, and we have pressure on f7. Bishop h3. You may think, oh, wait a minute, what about this move? Bishop takes h3, putting pressure. But now you have actually a very nice move here, queen to c1, because the bishop is going to be hanging, and you still have that pressure on h6. Okay. So if he takes, you just have king takes g2. So he has to go here. Bishop takes h6. If takes, queen will take on h6. Yeah, it's very hard to do anything now. Queen h6, there will be some interesting attacking options here as well. Yeah, black maybe can play a5, so knight a5. So, but we still don't have the moves. So let's go back to this game here, where it seems like, yeah, a6 is played, and again, white is thinking for a long time. 24 minutes only left in this position, so white is trying to figure out a way to break. This is the game Canuck against Cordova, looking for some active opportunities. g4, maybe knight e5 to try to do something. g4, knight e5. F4, and this way try to strengthen the position, but it looks like it's going to be rook d8, a comfortable move here, just simply to put pressure here on d4. If knight c6, there's queen c6. So again, you have to be a little bit careful if you play so directly and try to just say I'm going to push. You still need to make some solid moves to go here and go long castle. You still need to make those moves, otherwise it's not going to be easy. So let's move on to the next game. And this game again, yeah, rook c1, we don't have moves yet. And here, yeah, we're still in this position. I think white is doing very well here. This is the game Josiah playing with the white pieces. I think he's got good control of the position. At some point he'll play g4, some knight g6. As we analyze knight g6, queen g3 will be played, and we have pressure. Queen f4, rook fc1, and just go h4. We just try to put pressure. Yeah, I think it's a slightly better position here for sure for white, and some good opportunities here. Once again, we have one result already. A game between Belos and Stramavicius ended in a draw. This was a short game. It was a Dutch defense that resulted into players deciding it to just take a draw in this position. Very sharp position though. Very sharp position. Belos Stramavicius game. Alright, so I will go back to the playing call, guys, to check out, to see. It looks like we have some delay with the moves, to see what's going on. But hopefully we can get some more moves in. And I'll be back in a little bit to continue going over the games with you and see the ideas, okay? I will be back in a little bit. See you soon. All right, guys, we are back after the break. We have a little bit of issues with the moves in this round, but it will be fixed hopefully soon. So this is the game of Cordova against Canuck. Okay, Cordova versus Canuck here. This is where things stand. So I want to back it up a little bit. Okay, so we left off around here. B5 was played, and it's very dangerous. What is Cordova doing in this game? So he's taking some very big chances here, and if takes through this F4 is a very strong move, followed up by F5. It's a problem. So he ended up playing this, and obviously, yeah, you can't really get away with this. This is just a really tough position. Bishop d2 could have been played as well and just captured back with the bishop. So d4. Yeah, super complicated position here. I don't know how this is gonna go. So rook h3 looks like takes queen b7, and then perhaps g5, trying to play g6 and rip open the position. I mean, this looks very strong for Harshit Kanka, threatening to play the move g6. So that needs to be addressed. That's not a move that it could be it could be allowed, you know. So bishop b7, queen g4, let's say. You don't want to allow bishop g5. Rook d8 and rook f1. Again, getting ready to play this move g6 to open up the position. You castle. Here actually fg works, and check, simply king goes on h8. Check. Queen goes on e4. Trying to trade. Can't take it because of the background checkmate. That will be a big problem. So you have to play rook here and simply take. Taking on h5. So yeah, I think you have to play this a little bit more carefully, preparing the g6. So I think a little bit more work needs to be done here. Maybe some preparatory options, a3, king b1, and then you can try to play this move. But definitely some preparatory options you have to try to do. Okay. Yeah, that would be the idea. All right, let's look at another game. Yeah, this is a fantastic position here. Looks like things are going bad here for Mark Heyman. So we left off here. After rook c1, he went here, c4, e4. That's not a good move. You shouldn't be trying to opening up the position here while your king is completely in the middle of the board. You should be trying to develop your pieces. So of course bishop e7 castle should have been played. Mark played very optimistically, and now bishop e2 and c5. Now Alex Katz is ripping open the position, and Alex is going for his third consecutive win in this tournament. That is going to put him in a prime position with a +3 result. Let's see if he can do it. h3, questioning the bishop. Bishop f4. Yeah, this is just looks absolutely terrible. Black king is caught in the middle of the board, and this is just looking like an absolutely devastating position for him. So looks like Alex Scott is gonna do really well here in this tournament. Another win is coming his way. Little check here, forcing this guy to go here, and little capture here is gonna do it as well. Or you can play the move d6, trying to sink in here with the queen e7 check. If you take check, check, and here actually the best thing is just to try to swing this rook over to h4 with the mating ideas. Okay, he cannot do anything. And rook is swinging back to g4. Yeah, so yeah, I expect a decisive result here is coming in here for him. This is where we left off for Josiah's game. He sacrificed the bishop. We're gonna look at the IM section as well right now, guys. We're focusing on the GM section, but we will definitely look at the IM section games too. Queen f4, queen d2, yeah, now queen b6. Yeah, I think black is fine here. I don't think Josiah has much advantage here. It just looks like a very, very solid position here for black with two bishops. It's going to be very difficult to do anything. So d4, and the big problem is the bishop here. So the question is how to try to improve the bishop, and my solution always been in the French defense. I like to go here and put this guy here and try to put pressure. Bishop e8 takes, bishop takes f6, knight g3, bishop g6, and now we have two great bishops putting pressure here. Rook ac1, rook ac8. If you play, let's say, rook fe1, simply we take, bishop e4. Bishop e4 comes in now, putting pressure on f3. Now threatening to take on f3 here. Then if knight e5 comes in, takes. I just push. Push. Now putting pressure a little bit here. Yeah, I think it's dangerous to leave this pawn here, so most likely you just have to play accurately here to hold this. So I should rook g4 repetition. So yeah, it's a very, very solid solid position here. So this one I think is more likely to be a draw, but yeah, here we expect to see a decisive result for cuts. Cordova Canuck looks yeah, Cordova game looks kind of tough. Yeah, here Cordova actually. Okay, so rook h3 was played, looks like. Bishop e7, okay. Oh no, rook h3, yeah, this is played. So now as Cordova is thinking, he's trying to figure out what to do how to handle this idea of g6. Again, guys, once again, you need a 6.5 points in this tournament. 6.5 points is going to do it, okay? 6.5 points is going to be enough to get a GM norm. In a GM section, in IM section, you need 7, okay? You need 7 in IM and 6.5 in a GM. So, well, we'll see how it will go. It looks good for IM cuts at the moment. Looks like he's going to be 3.5 out of 4. It's going to put him in a very, very good position to try to go for that norm. So, okay. Yeah, so that's one position. Yeah, I think this is just really, really difficult in this position to do anything. Now we're gonna see here Mark thinking, but it's gonna be very tough to do much. Let's check to see how's Max Gedaljevic doing. This is a Gedaljevic game. We left it off around here after the move Queen C7, and there's some moves played after Queen E2, opening up the position. And now A5 comes in, trying to fix the structure, fix A6, A6 and B7, okay? Knight F6. Queen goes on H4. G5. Actually, G5, there is also a possibility of perhaps taking the on G5, yeah? Boom. And putting a lot of pressure here, so that would be a good option to do anything. D1, takes D1, and of course we don't trade. We keep the pieces on the board. It's very, very important to keep the pieces on the board here. Now putting pressure, and it's just going to be very, very difficult to do anything now. Excellent. All right, we're going to take a quick break, guys. I'll go again to check out the playing hole to make sure we're getting all the moves, and we'll be back shortly with you, okay? See you in a little bit. Alright guys, so we are back after the break, and we have some more development here. We have some results maybe. Let's take a look at this game here. After we left off here, this is the game between Kunka Harshit against Cordova. Bishop e7 was played. Queen g4. Rook d8, proposing the trade. Rook f1. Queen d7. And now, apparently, he can capture. And if Queen takes d8, try to play g6. Position is still a little bit complicated, but it looks like it's just going to be an advantage at the end for white. For example, takes. Rook d1, check, attack. Queen b6. Queen takes e6, takes. Bishop e6. Pushing the king to the corner and then simply taking on g6. You cannot take back, because if you take back, you're going to get into this position and get mated. So that's going to be a problem. So you can't really do that. Yeah, this g6 move has to be played, because at some point, if black manages to play g6, it will kill a lot of the attacking powers here. So that will be a big problem here. Let me check if we got some moves on the lead chess. Nope. We don't have the moves on the lead chess still. Not sure why. Okay. So, yeah, still an advantage here for Harshit Kunka against Cordova. So we will see how this, and this game is just looking really tough after knight b7. Yeah, I really don't see what can be done here. It's just, yeah, this just a couple of more moves played after. Let's pick it up. Check. Queen b6 was played indeed. Picking up on c5. You have to go there because of the discovery. Checks. Queen e7. d6. Queen b7, trying to trade the queens. Yeah, it's completely winning position. It's a +7 advantage for white. Takes. And now we're just simply going to get the rook in here and play the move d7. That's just going to be a victorious position for Alex Katsir against Mark Heyman. We have some more development in the game between Gedaljevic against Narayanan. So we left off here with that block as already equal. And here we see some developments. Okay, it looks like a mouse slip. So capture occurred here. Bishop d2. Yeah, it's absolutely equal position. Balance structure, 3-on-2. Yeah, it's just going to be very, very difficult to do anything. It's really, really balanced here, everything. So Queen d8, Bishop b3, putting pressure, Queen c7, c4, King h7, trying to fix it. Yeah, it's such a solid position. It's just hard to see what will happen here. Bishop d2. Yeah, equal position. Anything can happen. Let's take a look at the Stearman game against Cordova. Stearman against Ostrovsky, actually. Okay, so we left off here. Right around here, we thought it was just about equal, and now takes. Wow. Taking on f6 and giving up the center. I mean, that's why perhaps d5 would have been a better move. But Ostrovsky again, he's taking lots of time here. So he's taking lots of time in this position. So takes. Knight f4. Queen d6. Knight h5. knight goes on h4, now threatening some knight f5 options at some point, but position is very solid here. I like black's position, but the one thing I'm not happy is the time. The timing is tough, you know. The timing is really tough. King h8, f5, e5. Question is if these knights can do something, if these knights can really create some kind of serious damage there. So it's hard to tell. It's definitely hard to tell. Queen d2. Bishop c5 check. Bishop e8 putting pressure. Queen h6 takes. And now this knight g6 is a very serious threat. This knight g6 idea is a very, very serious threat to try to create some threats. But now you have queen f7 actually to deal with it, because if you go check actually after king g7, you're going to be in trouble because you can't move the knight, you're going to lose this. So it's going to be a trouble here. Okay, maybe rook a1, put some pressure here. But again, the time situation is certainly favoring white here, because just not so much time left. You know, only 5 minutes on the clock. Okay, let's take a look at the IM section, guys. So let's go back, see if we can find the IM section tournament. Okay, let me see here. So we can look at the IM players here. Let's see. The lead chess is not quite working today, so that's why we have to rely. We're using the chess.com. Okay, this is the IM section, and here is the leader's game. Joshua Sheng. He's playing with the black pieces against. I thought he was playing against. Yeah, he's white against Zoe. Yeah, he's white against Zoe here. Very nice advantage for Josh. He's got 2 bishops and a pressure. This was a Sicilian defense by Zoe. Josh decided to avoid some of the main lines. So get this position. King f1. So the problem is for black, it's very hard to move anything. This knight on d7 is doing a good job defending the b6 and defending d5. So it's doing a very, very good job defending this. But on the, other than that, you can't really move anything. So that's why I think there's a good chance for Josh Sheng in this position to get his 4th consecutive win. And the other player who is doing really well is Kyron Griffith. He has 2.5 out of 3, and he is playing against Mike Zalozny. But he is in a little bit of trouble. Looks like an advantage for Mike. So maybe Mike can get on the scoreboard. So this was a Caro-Kann defense. Knight f6. h5. The point of it is you gotta defend the pawn, so he plays h5 to try to put some pressure with h4. now he goes here. Now bishop e4, trying to play d5. And now bishop d6. The point is, if d5 is played, you want to be able to play knight to c5. d5, knight c5. Yeah, d5, and let's just try to put some more pressure. Yeah, a little bit of pressure, but I think overall it's nice position for black here. Black is very solid here. Then we have a draw in this game. Draw was agreed between, no, not there was a draw between Heinemann and May. Heinemann-May game was a draw. Yeah, Heinemann-May game was a draw here. Looks like a complicated game that... Wow. Yeah, this is super sharp actually. Who is winning, it's hard to tell, but... okay, so it's end up being a position where everything comes off the board. Okay, so this game ended in a draw here. We expect Josh is probably going to be able to win this game. So we'll see. We'll see how it will go here. G3. This is a game... No, we did this one. This is a game between Yim against Basasuren Erden. This is the game. G3, King's Indian Defense. F4 takes... F4 and trying to push, trying to get the control. I like this play. I really like this play with idea knight g6 and try to put a grip. Try to put a grip on e5. Yeah, I quite like this idea. And g3, knight g6, takes, check. Now I just go knight g2. Takes. Actually, black is down a pawn, but he has a really good activity of the pieces. Okay, so there's a really good activity of the pieces. Okay, so that's the idea to remember. So perhaps maybe this f4 was a bit rushed. I like this f3 idea here with the idea bishop e3, but then yeah, you have to deal with this play here. You go for c5. Sometimes they play a5. You have take a4. The idea is now you want to play bishop a3 and bishop b4 to put lots of pressure. b6. Bishop goes here. Queen d2. Knight b5. Yeah, and you have some ideas such as yeah, you have some ideas such as a5 as well. Knight b5, bishop b4, and you will play a5. I like this for white. Black will have his own counterplay here, probably like going like this, but I think probably white is going to be slightly ahead here in this in his counterplay here. G4 and a5. Yeah, it's just going to be a little bit more, a little bit easier now to get this in a5, and takes bishop a5, putting pressure here. So take knight b6, bishop takes b6, takes And actually, you can give up the exchange here. You just keep taking the important stuff. You just keep taking the important stuff here and just collecting the materials here. So that's actually very important. And you have pressure on e5, you have pressure on d6 as well. So yeah, so sharp position here. I don't like the move f4 because it just allows this idea. And if taking back, why not take with the knight here to try to sneak in a knight in here? That would have been very interesting, knight f4 and trying to get the knight to e6. So it goes here, bishop here. Takes. And now there's this knight f5 coming up, so you just play g4 to prevent it. But again, very complicated play here. Takes. Bishop d4. Wow. This is something very special. You just take back with this guy, then you're threatening to move to go here and here. Now threatening to go here. Take. Threatening mate. Queen b5. Putting lots of pressure now on this position. This, and we go here. And now a very interesting finishing idea. We have knight h5 threatening knight f6. And the point is, if he captures, we can play the move rook to g1. And the last game is the game Gunbold, playing with the block pieces against Gunbold against Shavit. And Gunbold is up a pawn, but there's some dangers in the position. But I think, yeah, knight queen c2, knight e4. Yeah, it's going to be some nice pressure here to get advantage. b4. And take. And just take back with the rook. Lots of yeah, this actually leads to a liquidation here. So now queen e2. Yeah, this is where things stand here. We have one result in the GM section. We have a result between Stremavicius and Bellows draw, and then we have also another result in a game between Heinemann and May. So we're gonna be I will check again the playing call to see how things are going there, guys, and we'll be back in a little bit to cover up the remainder of this round. Okay, we'll see you soon. Okay, we are back after the break, and we have a special guest who had a really good start. Just this game was a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Flew a little too close to the sun.
Yeah. It was. Let me see if I can find the game here. I think this is the IM section. Let's see here.
Yeah, I think in this one, if you're looking for a game, it's Cats. It's up at the top.
Yeah, this one was. Let's go over this because it was very interesting. But
Right.
I also want to talk about some of the good games you played that you won as well.
Yeah, nice.
So you're black.
Mm-hmm.
So Sicilian defense.
Yep.
So theory, was this move came as a little surprise? This Rook C1?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting actually. I thought Bishop D3 with the idea that after Bishop takes D3, what can recapture with the pawn, putting some pressure on the queen side looked uncomfortable. It turns out, I mean, maybe it's still not clear. Like even if I retreat the queen back to B8, we can go queen B4. Sure. But even
you didn't want to just go here. You didn't want to do this.
Yeah, so like I said, I think Bishop D3, it turns out I think that, and the engine actually agrees, that this is alright for black. If I just capture it, go retreat my queen, drop my queen back to B8. And
so I assume he's going to take, he's going to take with this.
Right? Yeah. So, and this is still, and the good news is this way I get to castle, right? Even if white tries to go for the B pawn, it's going to be hard for white to hold on to the B pawn without like giving back, so yeah. So I don't
and knight F6, you pick up the D5.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think this was interesting. I think this is where I think you might have made an inaccuracy, right?
Yeah. So
this E4 move.
Right, E4 I think in hindsight is pretty bad.
Yeah.
I knew it's pretty provocative, right? So obviously I'm opening up the center. Well, I'm still several moves away from castling.
Exactly.
And so I thought that concretely I could survive if I planned in an E5 and such, but I didn't correctly calculate all the details. And so if you play a move that sharp, you better be sure what's coming. And so so E4 I think. I mean, the principle of just saying, hey, wait till you develop, I think what it is holds true as it usually does. So, right, so I think, even, Bishop E7, right, knight E5. Again, probably, maybe I should have just gone Bishop E7, and tried to develop as quickly as possible.
Bishop E7, castle.
Right, yeah, so like I said, but of course that isn't necessarily consistent with what I was doing with E4. So, but it's probably time to admit that I should at least be developing.
95.
The problem is it takes one more move, and it takes the eye off the C5 square.
And this C5 came in, huh?
Right. Yeah.
His timing is very good for him.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to me.
Yeah.
So.
Takes. Bishop G4. Did you consider this move? It seems like maybe this would have given you a little bit better chances.
Yeah, I think in hindsight that was better because the problem is Bishop. Yeah, if you're Bishop G4, the Bishop is actually kind of short of squares. And I don't know, it just looked kind of loose there. But
castle. At some point, maybe you can clump it with F5,
right. Yeah, for sure. And that also puts pressure on the D pawn, for example. So, yeah. I think that was also certainly a more accurate move. After Bishop G4, one of the things also I kind of realized white can also go C6 in many lines if I don't capture the C pawn.
Yeah, it's very unpleasant C6.
Right,
if let's say you just castle here, right?
Right.
C6 is quite good, yeah.
Right. So.
Because you never want to play B6 and leave the protected pawn, but if you take this knight, is just going to be super annoying on C6.
So that was kind of another limitation I thought that I hadn't really fully considered the ramifications of when I was looking at these lines. So after this point, I'm pretty in trouble. So I think
I think he played really strong here too.
Right. So Bishop D7, Bishop F4.
Queen B6, you don't like Rook Fe1, yeah?
Yeah, I just figured that this is what I'm going to have.
It's amazing. If you had castled here, you're okay here.
Exactly,
probably, but you just are missing that one tempi.
Yeah, so
let's say
this is what I have to get.
Let's say a position like this.
Right.
Yeah, so you're...
Right, yeah, exactly.
You're missing that one tempi, That is playing a huge role.
For sure, right, and that's, I guess, the downside of me playing as sharply as I did. So and at this point, I'm losing in castle, I'm down a pawn, so
this is tough to save.
So Rook H6, we both were like, oh, maybe black is making something happen, but Queen b7. White has queen b7.
Queen b7 was a nice
yeah,
move.
so yeah, right. So after d7, I can take it on d7.
Yeah.
And
Queen takes rook
right,
c5.
the knight will hang if he takes my bishop, and so then I'm in the game. But yeah, queen b7 seems to just win for white, and it's perhaps unsurprising, right? When I'm down a pawn, he has that d pawn, right? Like, you know, that the tactics wouldn't work out in my favor. So yeah, and of course it's just losing. White's
Yeah,
gonna create a pass
he's just
pawn and
collecting
it'll
more
cost my
material.
bishop.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, tough one. But let's take a look at one of your really good games. You actually did really well. You won against Samruk Narayanan, and then you also won against Kunka Harshit.
Yes, who is really fast improving. Actually, it's quite remarkable. So.
Yeah, let's see if I can find one of those games here to take a look. Round 2.
Or round 3. So yeah, there's my game is Samruk, and Harshit is like 5 above that. So either one. Yeah. So my game against Samruk, I played the black side of Sicilian bow. It's like a Moscow variation. So
yeah, that was a good one too. I like that one. It was a close position.
Yeah, and then
where is that one?
Was a Karo-Khan.
It's here. Yeah, let's look at this one.
Sure. So another Sicilian. So actually, full disclosure, I thought Alex Katz was going to play some type of anti-Sicilian with a. He's played some Moscow. He's played, he played a Grand Prix type position against Josiah. So, I was
so
kind of bluffing a mainline Sicilian against
Sicilian.
Alex.
I really like this game because it looked like it was just locked up position.
Right. Yeah. So this is interesting. The c4 moves. In my prep, I mostly just looked at lines where white goes like c3, bishop c2, d4. So the c4 got us into a different type of structure than I was looking at. So it's actually interesting there. Okay. Yeah. So right. So
a5. This bishop g4 is very
The bishop
interesting.
g4 again is a little bit of a luxury. So I was a little bit unsure how to evaluate the position. Like if I went, for example, b4, white goes a3. If I have to capture back with the c pawn. Like, because like on the one hand, white's dark squares look like really really ugly, but on the other hand, it's like, well, if I can't keep a lock on d4 forever. I mean, this looks,
it's reasonable for you.
Yeah. So maybe
97.
I mean, like I said, I'm sure this isn't bad for me, but I was like just concerned if that white would have a solid center.
Yeah. So, but here it seems like now you have to waste one tempo.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Back.
So the bishop is going to drop back later. So it's perhaps perhaps just call. So there's, I think b3. It's actually the engine. I looked at this later and it's like the idea of d4. Yeah, that's really surprising, right? It looks like the d4 square is so locked down. Right, but the idea is,
really?
Of course, if I capture the e pawn, right, that lets the e. Basically, whichever pawn I capture with, white's other pawn gets to go forward, and it's a little bit harder.
Wow.
To so.
Yeah.
Right. I know. It's like I definitely did not think during the end that would be possible. So, bishop d6. But the problem is, I think, white. And maybe we were talking after the game, like, can white ever go f4? With the idea that
at some point he had this idea.
Right.
That's why I think it's very important. Actually, here, if you just castle, this could be inaccuracy because I think, when I was analyzing this yesterday, I discovered that he has this and this idea.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And so when I first went bishop d6, my idea, before he had the knight in d2, my idea is to meet f4 by dropping the bishop back to c7. If he captures on e5, I can go knight g4 and win the pawn. But now that his knight's at d2, he's in time to defend that pawn. So I have no real good way. Yeah, right, if I capture his pawn, I open myself up to a fork. And I won't be able to hold that square.
If you go here, you go knight f3.
Yeah, so I have to be careful that that basically I'm able to guard the square more times than he's able to attack it. So there was some,
so this
I'd be careful
this bishop d7 was very important that you did.
Right.
So I really like this. Back to the game.
So that's why instead of castling, I went bishop c6, right, clearing up square for the knight and d7 to support that.
And plus, you might not need to castle because it's so locked up. You might keep the king on e7, yeah?
Right. Yeah.
So at the moment, you would think you're better, or you think it's just equal here?
That's interesting. I felt slightly better, but it looks like, looking at it, it seems that objectively white is probably okay. But the problem is, it's very easy for white to sort of drift into a position if he's not careful, where I just get to where white has no counterplay, and I just get to throw my pawns forward on the king side.
Here he's trying to maybe make a draw with repetition.
Exactly. And it's basically a draw offer. And so, to be fair, right, white is sort of impeding, his queen is impeding my pawns a little bit.
I like this plan. I like this. I was thinking h5 here.
Yeah,
Bishop
perhaps,
h6,
right, so I agree, right?
h6.
That is a really nice square for it. And so I was trying, I think that might have been a little more accurate just because now, I do have a little bit of a hard time actually making progress. It's hard for me to
See, your
get the
bishop
bishop to h6 without losing h5. So
I thought at some point he had to play this move h4.
yeah, I was
Like,
expecting that too
he
at
had
some
to.
point. But I
And
mean,
then he has to do knight h2, and he has some f3 ideas.
right, yeah, I
you
have
know?
to make sure that that f3 doesn't actually end up being just like good for white. So that way does make me kind of have to watch more. I think Sam Rugu was like just trying to hunker down at this point, and maybe could have forced matters a little bit more because. So on the one hand, it is of course hard for me to actually break through.
You don't want to trade rooks here. You want to keep the pair of
Yeah,
them?
my hope was to do that, right? Just because I was like, well, the rook doesn't have anywhere to go in a7. I mean, it's the a file yet. So I was expecting at some point to make progress, I'd have to try to carefully prepare f5. But I think this is kind of a mistake.
Knight h2, you have knight d4 here.
Yeah. So I think that
He had to have the bishop on e3. He had to
Mm-hmm.
keep the bishop on e3. So
Right.
in this cases, he can always take on d4.
Right. I think that giving me the d4 square
Yeah.
just for free was.
He should have just waited, no?
Yeah, I agree, and so that's what I was expecting.
In this
I think
case,
maybe
take knight h2.
maybe he just like lost sight of it for
Yeah,
something
he did.
like that.
And
so
now you're happy. Bishop h6
Right.
comes in.
So
You are in fact probably very happy now.
right, yeah. And this
Even
point,
the
I was
pawn.
for sure I'm winning. So yeah. I guess white can try to hold. I was interested. White. I thought that if white didn't go bishop h3, that I could just like come in on the h file, maybe
file.
queen h4, queen h5, king g6, rook h7.
Yeah.
But it looks like the end just still says white has some defensive
Rook
resources.
a7.
Yeah,
Queen
bishop
a1.
Yeah, that's true. White
But
doesn't
this just
make
loses,
counterplays.
no? Just
Yeah,
give it the
this
pawn.
loses, right? So I was like, okay, white gets some temporary activity, but I win a pawn that will be decisive. So
Now you have to sack exchange.
yeah, right, and yeah, at this point it's pretty much lost. I just have to be slightly careful.
Yeah, you just have to make sure you don't blunder anything.
Right, yeah,
And you finished it very elegantly, actually. I was there watching when you
Yeah.
play this. Very nice
right,
move
yeah.
here.
So just tucking the king out of the way if any checks. If I do let the queen on the a file like that.
And just nice,
Yeah.
nice closing idea. Check.
Right,
If he goes up, you know.
right, yeah. Otherwise the rook
Just
comes
take.
down and checkmates
Yeah.
here.
If
so
he goes
check
king
back.
f1, you just rook
Yeah.
check. Okay.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. So, all right. So you have Mark right now 2.5.
Right, yeah. So 2.5 out of 4. So
Not a bad position to be in,
Right.
considering, of course, it was a tough loss today.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so your opponent is doing really well.
yeah,
so
Alex is. I mean, definitely looks like he's keeping pace for GM norm. So
He is,
That's
yeah.
exciting. I figured that Alex and I would be like, whoever
wins.
wins. Obviously, there's a lot more.
How
chess
many
to be played,
points you
but,
need for the IM norm? Do you know?
5. So I'm
So
still at plus
5
1,
out of 9. Okay.
and I'm still on +1 even after that loss. So
So if your next 5 rounds you score 2.5 points, you can get your last norm.
that would be great. Yeah, I would
Yeah?
really love that. So
The last IM norm, I believe.
yes, that would
Because
be
I
my
spoke
last
with your
one, yeah.
brother earlier
Yeah.
on the show, and he mentioned that. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do
Sure.
you live? And I know you played in a previous 1000
I
GM
did.
tournament.
Yeah. Thanks.
Your impressions of the tournament, the venue,
Right.
the organization.
Oh, well, my impressions are nothing but positive. I'm really, really thankful for 1000 GM creating these tournaments. And this one is actually especially great because I live in the San Francisco Bay Area right now.
Oh,
I live
wow.
about like 45 minutes north of here. So being able to play in this high quality of tournament on like home turf, it's an
amazing.
incredible opportunity. So I'd love nothing more to be able to make my last norm, be able to like immediately celebrate
In
things like
your
that.
in your backyard,
So,
you know.
yeah,
basically.
exactly.
In
So,
your
but
backyard.
we'll see. Obviously, it's going to be a tough tournament
Yeah.
to do that. But yeah, so I did play it in 2 other 1000 GM tournaments, which is actually where I got my other 2 norms. I played in one other round robin in Labor Day weekend. That was back down in LA. That
Uh-huh.
time I was in the IM section, so it's a different ball game, right? You're like trying
Sure.
to mostly placing 2300 FIDE opponents and trying to rack up a +4 score. And so
Yeah,
it took me a while
yeah.
to finally start winning, but at the end I was able to win my last 3 straight and get the norm.
Yeah.
And then I played in the Swiss. At the end of October, 1000 GM held the Hollywood Masters, which is a super Swiss tournament. They had I forget what, like 40 something IMs and GMs from like 20 countries or something like that. So it's an incredible tournament, like an incredible turnout put in the tournament. So I was able to make my second norm. So that was important, A, because it's another norm, then B, also because of the new FIDE regulations that require you to have 1 norm in a Swiss.
Absolutely.
And so I have to admit, after I got my first norm, I was like, well, maybe I'm just good at getting efficient scores against 2300 FIDE. So I was like, well, but I won't hold against the Grandmasters. So being able to get a norm of that tournament was good.
Nice.
And yeah, so now I'm back here again trying to hold serve with the Grandmasters in the GM.
Absolutely.
section.
No, you're doing great
So-
here. You're doing great here.
Right.
And we enjoy your games.
Thank you.
Mark.
Well,
and
thanks for
absolutely,
so.
we would love to see you again here when you have a chance.
Oh
to
yeah,
stop
absolutely.
by.
Right.
You hopefully you win another good game.
That
We
would
were
be
trying
great.
to talk to you earlier, but we couldn't catch you.
Oh yeah, yes.
You won two. You had a great day. You know, you won
yesterday
two games
was
in a row.
yesterday was solid. Of course, right. I was also facing two of the other players who, like me, are interested in the IM and GM titles, right? So now I'm up against the international masters and Grandmasters. So
more tougher opposition now.
Exactly.
Yeah?
So I mean, there's no easy run in this tournament.
No.
They put together a really strong
Absolutely.
field, at least for a player of my caliber. They put together a really good field. Like I think the lowest person is still like high 2300s FIDE.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I think props. Like I think they just always managed to put together really great lineups. So, but yeah, of course, it's even going to be more the case. I think every round from this point is going to be a dogfight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're going to let you get some rest, Mark. Congratulations. Sure. Good start so far.
Thank you so much.
Wishing you good luck in the upcoming 5 rounds.
Hopefully, I appreciate it.
Hopefully, you can get that last norm, okay?
I would love that.
Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All right, take care.
Absolutely, guys. Yeah, you can go.
Right.
No problem.
Thank you.
It's all right. We're going to continue looking at the games to see what developments we have. We have a game. It looks like Max Gedaljevic is doing really well against Samrun Nananyan. And looks like he's doing really well here. We got 2 bishops and this very strong pass pawn on the d file. So he's trying to promote the d pawn into, so bishop c6 coming up, threatening to take on c6. And yeah, it's going to be very, very tough to do anything. So bishop c6 I go, just try to eliminate this guy. And knight d2 is going to be a check, forcing back, and queen takes f2. That should do it. You might be able to go here, but that loses another pawn. Yeah, normally when you have the extra pawns and the 2 bishops, you're going to be able to do well in this position. So this is definitely a winning advantage here. So let's see. Let's see. And looks like Josiah lost. Yeah, it was a complicated game, but looks like the 2 bishops actually prevailed here. Bishop g4. Yeah, somehow position opened up and the bishops became too strong here. e4. Tough tournament, very tough tournament for Josiah here. And now we have pressure. Bishop g4. Yeah, just the extra piece now. Yeah. And no more checks, and then he's gonna promote into queen. Very nice win here for Ostrovsky. Let's see, where is this put Ostrovsky? He won 1, he lost 1, and he had 2 draws. So he's on a 50% right now. So he basically has, out of 4 games, he has 2 points. And we got 5 more rounds to go. So he's gonna need, yeah, he's gonna need to basically score 4.5 out of the next 5 games. 4.5 out of the next 5 games, and in that case, he's gonna be able to do really well. So let's see if he's gonna be able to manage to do that. Let's meantime look to see what other developments here. So we expect Max Gedaljevic to win this game. So, and here Joshua Schenk is doing really, really well. He's feeling very, very confident here. He can play rook b4. He can try to swing this guy here. This should be a technically winning position. Still a little bit of work needs to be done, but objectively this should be just winning. So let's switch now to the Cordova game. Cordova was playing against, that's yesterday. Wow, looks like Emilio lost. Ay, 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 tough loss against Kanuk Harshid. We're gonna try to get Kanuk to come join us, Kanuk Harshid. So Wow, that's very nice. And looks like, yeah, we're actually almost done with the GM section here, guys. Stramavicius Drubelaus, Narayanan is in big trouble against Gedaljevic. Then we have Canuck winning, Katz winning, and Ostrovsky is winning. So lots of results we have here, and this was a very, very nice finish here. Just the Black King never found the safety. Now Queen G6 is threatened, and Emilio missed this probably Bishop B3 check idea. That is going to result into a Rook F1 check, King goes on F7, Rook to F7 check, picking up the bishop, and it's just going to be a very, very nice advantage here. So excellent play here by Harshit Canuck here. Very, very nice play. So let's take a look what other games we have remaining. We see more and more results coming in. Katz winning, Canuck winning, Ostrovsky winning, one game remaining, one game, and the question is, can Max Gedaljevic win this game? And so that's the big question here. Yeah, I think position is winning, so he should have really no problem to put this one away, and that's gonna put Max at, so he lost one game yesterday, so 50%. No, -1. Yeah, that's gonna be a -1 for him. So he does need a 5 points. You need to score 5 points to get an IM norm, even if you're playing in a GM section. 6.5 for the GM and 5 for the IM norm, and that's what Mark is aiming. But one player who is really happy and smiling is Alex Katz, winning his 3rd game in a row here. Sitting very pretty at this moment with 3.5 points out of 4. So that is fantastic, okay? That is really fantastic. So we'll see how he will do here. So Alex is playing next game with the black piece against Emilio Cordova. So very interesting to see, guys. All right, in the meantime, in the IM section, we have, it says that Griffith won. Griffith Chiron won. How? He was in trouble. He was in trouble. Okay. Yeah, this looks about equal. Absolutely. All right, so I will take a short break, guys. We'll check out the playing call to see what games we have left, and I'll be back in a little bit to give you an update of what's happening, and hopefully we'll have some more interviews. All right, I'll see you in a little bit, guys.
Okay, get this guy.
Okay, we are back after the break, short break, guys, and we have a special guest with us, Grandmaster Josh Sheng, who won his 4th game with a perfect start so far. Congratulations. Let's take a look at your game. So let me see if I can find it here. So let's see. I know we looked at it earlier. Okay, so let's see here. Maybe
A lot of my friends told me they had issues with the broadcast.
yeah, there were some issues today, unfortunately, but it's a little glitchy. It's very glitchy, but we will find it. I don't know what happened, but we will find it here. Let's see. 1000 GM IM. This is the GM section. 1000 IM. So your game, here is your game. Okay. Josh, you were white. Take us through some of the interesting moments in this game.
All right.
So she played a Sicilian. You were expecting this.
Yes.
She played an earlier this line. So and you chose not the main lines with d4, just the bishop b5.
Yes.
Knight c3 and d4. So far, it's just normal. And now knight d2 comes in with the idea try to maneuver the knight on c4 to put some pressure on d6. And
yeah, queen c5 is pretty bad. I thought black would probably play knight e5.
Yeah, knight e5 makes sense to try to prevent the knight from coming to c4. And if knight b3 is played, simply
yeah, I would probably play knight c4 and we'd trade and we'd have some equal position.
Yeah.
And then life goes on.
Takes bishop c4 and just play chess. Yeah.
Yes.
Bishop b3. So yeah, that didn't happen. Let's see. Yeah. Queen c5.
Yeah, so after queen c5, I missed that if I take the queen, black cannot take with the knight. So black has to do something really bad to her pawn structure.
Yeah. Take with the d pawn, then knight c4 is fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Threatening,
F4 and
and threatening take on d7 later, knight b6.
Yes.
If he takes on e4, okay, that would have been a big edge.
But the position is nice anyway. So here
d5. She had to play d5. Yeah, she had to go d5. Absolutely.
Yeah, but if she has to take with the e pawn, then I'm relatively comfortable. Anyway.
Yeah. No, there's no question. Yeah, but again, this is the best which she could have done.
Of course.
She played e5, and here you chose knight d6. Did you consider the move rook takes d6 here?
Yeah. So I thought for a while here, then I decided that black has a lot of different options here. So like first of all, it wasn't that obvious to me what I would do on something like rook c8, but also after takes, I
let's look at this. I
thought this was a little bit more complicated than I wanted. So you can't take the bishop because after rook b8 you'll lose your knight, and then I'm not really too convinced about this. So probably knight f5 is better. But I still thought that there was no reason to make this so complicated when what I played in the game I think is just very simple and good.
Yeah, you got a very nice position, very comfortable.
Yeah, I don't have to sacrifice any material here, and yeah, knight d5 I think is good to get the bishop.
Yeah, essentially winning endgame. Yeah, because the two bishops are dominant. Plus you have 3-on-2 majority.
Yeah, winning might be strong, but I think it's very good.
Very good.
I would be upset if I didn't win.
Exactly. Okay, so now a5. Now you're trying to figure out a way to win some pawns, right? But she's trying to hold. But yeah, it gets to the point where she has no moves.
Yeah. Exactly.
Any move worsens the position, loses a pawn, and eventually you play bishop d4, inducing this move e4, and now. Wow. Calculation, and you take this. Very nice.
And then from here it should be pretty winning, I think.
Yeah.
Just
create a pass pawn. The bishop is so much stronger than a knight here, and now you can secure it on a6. Rook h4, attacking the pawn. Attacking again. Now you just control. Bishop b5 comes in. Yeah, no, this was great. Congratulations again, Josh. Great start. Perfect score. It's not good for the norm hunters, but it happens. I organized one tournament in St. Louis where I had Ilya Nizhnik playing in an IM Norm tournament, and he won all the games. You know,
Yeah,
so
I'm trying to copy him.
yeah, so you're trying to do that. So yeah, interesting game. You got a nice position. I like that opening idea, that clever 92 knight c4. Very nice, and looks like
Yeah, I think this a4 line's kind
yeah,
of annoying
it
for
confused her a little bit, and you managed to get a very nice position very quickly here, because you know the knight on c4 is really annoying. So and you know, at least this engine is showing that okay, knight e5 is a necessary move to play here. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to do anything. Well, thank you, Josh. We're going to let you get some rest, and we have another special guest joining us shortly, and we wish you good luck in the remaining 5 games.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, very good. Now we have another guest who is doing really well. Well, Kyron Griffith. Let's take a look. Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
So, good. So you have 3.5 out of 4.
I do.
Great start to this event. And again, you're one of the title players who is providing the opportunities for the norm hunters. So let's find your game here. A little bit of mix-up today with the broadcast. So is this the game?
Yeah. This
Okay,
is
this is the game.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look here. This is the game against Mike Zalozhny. So Mike is having a tough tournament, and it looked like he was doing okay in this game at some point.
I actually
Yeah.
played my kid with the same colors like a month ago in New
Okay.
York in a different
Different.
norm round robin. So yeah, he surprised me with the Caro. Last time he played a E4 E5.
E4 E5,
played
yeah.
the
Now
Coast
Nakarokan,
Road.
yeah. So this is normal.
Yeah.
I've seen this
This is all
before.
book.
H5.
Yeah. H4, H3, 97. Yeah, this is all book. Bishop D2, Knight F8, Rook A1. Yeah, we played these moves pretty quickly. Yeah, so G6, Knight F4. This is all like recommended by Silicki, I think.
Uh-huh.
And he knew this better than me. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, B3 I think is wrong.
So B3. So what's it's important to understand what is the plan here. Bishop E4, but then he goes back on E2.
Yeah, it's pretty strange. Like I'm not really.
He's trying to play C4 and then.
I knew Knight F4 was like one of the top moves, but I didn't know what the knight was doing there.
Exactly,
actually.
yeah,
Like,
because it's not.
a lot of times it actually comes back to E2,
Yeah.
and then I'm not sure why.
Yeah, it's
we
not
ever did
really
that.
aiming.
He told me that the critical line here is D5 immediately, and it's a D5
Right
is a pawn sack. You know, he
Wow.
takes on F4, takes Queen D5, like Bishop E4, I think, and then oh, maybe not Bishop E4, maybe it's a different move. Oh, sorry, yeah, we can't hang A2. C4, I guess.
C4, yeah.
And you know,
Like a long term, and now
yeah,
maybe
2
we just bring
bishops.
this
You know,
guy
his extra
here.
pawn is pretty bad. But
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. Sure.
you can definitely play this way.
But yeah, you played B3, which
Yeah, it's not a good move.
I
I
guess-
didn't know what to do.
is an 92.
Yeah, I'm
He
already
comes back.
worse.
Now he's got this Queen D6.
Yeah.
So you had to play A4, and you don't want to weaken it. Queen D6.
Yeah, C5 is a
C5.
good move, too.
Good move by
Oh,
Mike.
D5 is the best move. Yeah, I was really considering D5 here.
D5.
The idea is
takes.
Queen D5, Bishop E4, or is it? Oh, it's Rook D1.
Yeah, Rook
Okay.
E1.
Yeah, because I thought Bishop E4, he just goes Queen D6, and then
Yeah.
Rook D1, Queen E7, and my position's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now play
Yeah,
C4.
like,
Mhm.
I'm still not convinced by this. You know, it's still.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, we have the bishops and stuff, but full pawn down, and you know, we still have issues on the E file.
Yeah, it looked like he was doing okay here,
Oh,
but
Queen D3. Yeah, I thought this was an opportunity for him.
Bishop A5
That's
is
pretty random.
winning. Why is this winning?
I thought A6
Or-
here was really strong, but it looks
A6
like,
with Bishop 5.
yeah, I thought A6 Bishop B5, and I didn't know how to defend. I don't know what Bishop A5
I
is
don't
doing.
really
honestly.
understand. Okay, I guess I'm not sure about this
Oh.
engine here.
Yeah.
Okay, so looks like black was comfortable. That's right. I thought maybe Mike can
yeah.
score. You know.
Wait,
And
so,
then
so what about A6 instead of?
A6 here.
Yeah, I thought Queen E7 was wrong.
A6.
Oh, I can take B7. Whoa, that's dangerous. Really?
Yeah, really dangerous stuff there.
Bishop B5, takes
Bishop
E2,
5
takes
take
F4.
F4.
That's crazy. I can't
Yeah,
believe.
yeah, it looks very scary. So Queen E7.
Okay.
Now you consolidate.
Yeah, I could kind of feel like I was.
Yeah,
I was
right
about to equal
here he had to go bishop d6. I remember analyzing this position, and I thought, yeah, you should play bishop d6 and play that. But here you attack h4.
Yeah, he got his bishop out, but I managed to consolidate some, and yeah, I was very happy to be able to get into this endgame since. Okay, I guess it's equal.
It's about equal anyway.
B6, actually,
Yeah, you should play b6.
Yeah, and then he blunders, and this was very nice. That.
Oh,
he did this.
Oh, he just blundered a piece.
Yeah, but he has to play bishop b1, which is not.
Yes,
Queen c8 also, but yeah, I thought bishop b1 I was gonna play like a4 maybe.
Yeah, that's why you don't need to block this diagonal. Just b6 and maybe even just g4, go bishop d7.
Yeah, it's funny that white's actually worse here. Like I thought that I was like symbolically better because I had the pass pawn, but.
Well, he wants to go like bishop e4 and trade, you know.
Wow, bishop e4. I thought I was at queen e1.
Queen e1, f5.
No,
Still like bishop d4 check.
This seems a little dangerous, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, you turn it around very quickly this game. It looked like he was fine, and then the next thing we see. Yeah, you just.
No, I mean, I think he played the opening very well. And
very well, yeah.
Unfortunate
blunder. Did very well. Is this your first 1000 GM tournament?
No, I think it's my third actually.
Third, okay.
Yeah.
You played in LA, yeah?
Played twice in LA.
Twice
I
in
played
LA.
the
Perfect.
GM section. I played the Swiss in LA.
Very good. And tell us, where are you from?
So I live in San Francisco. Right
You
now.
live in San Francisco. Okay, so this is good. Local.
Yeah, I just drove down.
Very good. Very
super
good.
easy.
Very good. Okay, and excellent. You have any Grandmaster norms?
No, not yet.
No GM norms. Okay.
Still searching.
So still searching the GM norms. Okay, and how do you like this? You say this is your third tournament. How do you like the 1000 GM tournaments? The organization, the conditions.
Yeah.
How do you like it?
It's amazing. I mean, the venues are always nice. The competition is very strong, very fierce. I think it's amazing that they're able to put on these tournaments. It's really like it's just great for all the participants. I think we're all even if the norms aren't achieved, like everyone's gaining some valuable experience.
Absolutely,
So,
getting better, and a lot of norms already been achieved over the course of this tournament in St. Louis, in LA. We had few events, two events in St. Louis that I organized. But yeah, it's amazing to see that so many norms achieved. Thank you very much, Kyron, for joining us. We're gonna get some rest. You have another game in about 2 hours, and if you win another good game, please come join us here. I will be here doing the live commentary and interviews with the winners.
All right. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good luck. Yeah. So with this, guys, I think we're gonna close the show. There's only one game remaining. I will give you an update of the results. Okay. I will give you the update of the results. Belarus drew in this round against Ramavicius. Samaruk, I think, was playing still, but he is probably losing to Gedaljevic. Harshit Kanuk won against Cordova. Alex Katz won against Mark Heyman, and Josiah lost to Ostrovsky. In the IM section, we had wins for Joshua Schenk against Zoe, and Kyron Griffith won against Alozhny. Yim lost to Basan Suren. Heyman drew against May, and then Shavit won on time against Gunbolt Odondo. Thank you, everybody, for watching the round 4 coverage. We'll be back with a round 5 at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time in less than 2 hours. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.